I'm going to talk about collecting air samples using passive badges. Each badge is dependent upon the chemical that you're testing for, and the duration of the sample is also dependent upon the goals of the project. So the type of badge that we will use and the duration of the sample will be determined by the project manager as part of the project plan. We order this badges from laboratories typically, so you'll have to order the specific badge for your application. All badges have expiration dates, so it's important to make sure that you check and you don't use expired media. When you're collecting these samples, it's important to make sure you either have clean hands or use gloves. I'll go through each type of badge now. The first one, this is a badge that's typically used for anesthetic gases. And it comes in a packet like this. You open it, and as soon as you open it, you're beginning sampling. So open it here. We don't want to discard the packets. This is the badge. This is the front of the badge, and that's the sampling face right there, the white part. So that's you want to be careful not to touch it. And also when you're placing it, make sure this is out facing the air that you're trying to sample. This is the rear of the badge. Notice that there's a badge ID there. So when we record these measurements, we're going to use an EH&E sample ID that's unique to the badge. And we're also going to record the badge number. Sometimes the length of our sample IDs are longer than the back of the badge, so you actually have to tear it off to be sure that you're not going to fold it over the front and influence the sample. So when you're placing badges to sample, you will collect them either in the breathing zone of employees on their lapel, or often we collect area samples. And in cases where we're collecting area samples, we want to be sure that the badge isn't away in a corner somewhere. We want to be sure that normal airflow will pass over it. So places that are often useful are below shelves, below cubicles, in the breathing zone, obviously, of the people in the area. This badge is, as I said, samples as soon as you open it, and then when you put it back in its pouch, you've completed sampling. So for every type of badge, we want to record the sample ID, the badge ID, the location where we're collecting the sample, the type of sample, whether it's a primary sample, a duplicate, a field blank, or a media blank. A duplicate will be collected just 2 badges side by side for the same duration of time. Field blanks are collected by opening the packet and just putting it back in with a sample ID. A media blank, you don't even open the package and you just put the sample ID on the outside of the package. We're also going to record the start time, so time on, time off, and then calculate the duration in minutes. For every project, we also are going to record the client name, the job site, the building address, who's collecting the samples, the project number, the date of sampling, and the type of badge. In this case, it would be nitrous oxide monitor. It'll be a similar process for each type of badge, with recording the information on the data sheet, attaching the sample ID, and placing it either in the breathing zone or in the area sample. This is the second type of badge. This is for nitrous oxide, but this is also the same kind of badge that we often use for formaldehyde sampling. So again, we're going to check the expiration date before we collect any badge. In this case, we want to open the packet. And this is a 2-part badge. So this one you don't have to be as careful with as you open it because it comes closed. And then there is a small clip that looks like this that comes with the badge. So to begin sampling, we're going to attach the clip to the badge. We're going to, this is the back of the badge. We're going to record that ID. We're also going to affix an EH&E sample ID. In this case, we also have to tear the excess sample ID. So the badge ID and the sample ID are going to get recorded on our field data sheet. Now we're ready to sample. And to initiate sampling, we'll place it where we want and then open the badge like this. So now we're sampling. And when we're at the completion of sampling, again, the time is determined by the project plan. We're going to close this, put it back in its packet, and send it to the lab. The third type of badge that we're going to use is a 3M 3500 badge. This is a badge that's used to measure VOCs. It can measure a wide range of VOCs, including benzene, toluene, etc. Comes in a canister. So as soon as you open the canister, you are sampling. So there's a seal at the top. As soon as we open this, we're sampling. This kind of badge, we want to be sure we're careful as we take it out of the canister and not to touch the face of the badge. So it comes with a cap that needs to be saved. This part can be discarded. And then you pull the badge out like this. We are sampling. This is the front of the badge, the face. This is the back of the badge. So on our field data sheet, we'll want to record this badge ID as well as EH&E sample ID, which we can place like so. These are a little bit wider, so we don't necessarily have to tear them off. We're sampling. When we're done sampling this kind of badge, we want to remove this membrane and this ring. We do that by prying it off. Sometimes it's difficult, and you might need a screwdriver to do this. So you can see the media is embedded down in there. We want to be sure we're not actually touching the media. Now we take this cap, put this on a hard surface, and snap the cap on. And you'll hear it snap when it is fixed. Like so. This goes back inside the canister. The canister is closed to the laboratory. This can be discarded. The fourth kind of badge is a 3M 3520. It's basically two 3500s on top of each other. It's used for measuring particularly volatile organic compounds. Acetone you measure with this. There's other that are specific to this kind of badge that the laboratory can help you determine whether you use a 3520 or a 3500. So same thing as the 3500. With the 3520, we're going to open it. We're going to open the canister. In this case, because it's two layers, we have multiple caps. 1, 3, but the badge is similar. It's the face of the badge. We don't want to touch this until after the completion of sampling. This is the back of the badge with the badge ID. We're going to put our sample ID and record the sample ID and the badge ID on our field data sheet. Sample. At the completion of sampling, we have two options. Regardless, we're going to remove this ring. Same thing, media is inside. We can put this cap on, and that's it. Return the badge to the canister. Alternatively, we can also remove the top half of the badge, put this cap on, and then put a second cap on the back of the badge. both of these get returned to the laboratory. That is passive badge sampling.